how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal, HeyArcher. Realizing my camera is a little bit out of whack. Welcome to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. So good to see all of you. We have a wonderful episode today because we have the legendary, the great one, Mr. Aaron Waller in the house. Let me know if you can actually hear the sound effects. I feel like they're not coming through, but it's all right. I'll mess around with the settings. If you're new here, welcome to HeyArcher Live, our weekly Thursday night show where we sit back, relax, and hopefully, you need the sound effects. Hang on, let me see. There you go. Probably hear them now. Sit back, relax, and if for nothing else, pour yourself just a little bit of
Specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Oh yeah, all right. So, as I mentioned on today's show, we have the great Aaron Waller. We're gonna nerd out, see what's going on over at NerdGenic. Dude's doing like a video a day. I'm not even sure when he sleeps. See what he thinks about the latest shows. I will put on the screen a spoiler alert if we talk about anything that premiered this week. I'll do it even if it was next week. If we talk Kenobi in detail, I'm just going to put it up just in case. But if there's something that you guys want to talk about, make sure you put it down in the chat. Leave a thumbs up if you've not done so. Hit subscribe if you've not done so. Ring the bell to get notified if you've not done so. And of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, website, newsletter, newspaper, smoke signals, put it down in the chat. Support one another. But as I say, week after week, without further ado, we're going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Aaron Waller. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
So good, so good. So good to see you. The hardest working man in YouTube. The fact that you
Too kind.
have 35 to 40 minutes to hang out with us means a lot.
I made time. I've got exactly 1 hour.
There you go. There you
Let's
go.
use it.
Actually, I forgot to put that in the description. I'll do that afterwards. But why don't you tell everybody what's going on at 9:30, just in case?
9:30. By the way, does anybody else hear an echo for me? Just out of curiosity. Only
Right.
I can hear it in my headphones, but I just want to make sure everybody else is good. I can live. At 9:30, I'm doing a live stream watch party of Miss Marvel over on the NerdGenic channel. I haven't watched the episode yet. It came out yesterday, but Kenobi takes priority for Wednesday, and then we're going to do this on Thursdays until it stops, and then we'll switch it so that Miss Marvel happens on Wednesday. So I have to have the schedule for like 3 weeks, but again, we'll deal and we'll make it work.
There you go. And Dwight's saying no echo to the
echo.
masses. Got the energy drink going.
Yeah.
But of course, hello, Scooby Life, Brian Legacy, Mr.
Scooby?
Dwight, Hobbies with Jose, Sal, Billy. Good to see all of you. I'm not sure why Twitch is not working, but that's a restream problem, I guess, not mine at the current moment. Oh, there you go. There you go.
My actual self in there, not just a giant face.
We have so much that's happened in the last month, I would say, in the nerd world. So I will. Oh, now you're saying Twitch looks. All right, cool. So we'll start with no spoilers of Kenobi, but I'm just curious. I know what your thoughts are so far because I've watched the live streams. But first, plug your stream, and then again, tell us what you think of the show so far.
Yeah, so right now we're doing a live stream watch party also of Kenobi. That's on Wednesdays at 9. Also on NerdGenic, so if you want to join us, hang out, watch the show, or whatever the case may be, definitely come and hang out. That's a lot of fun. But what I've thought about Kenobi so far is I'm having a great time. It's 10 times. I would put it more than 10.
Yeah.
Way better than Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Up until the point when they started adding Mando stuff.
Right.
And even then, it was still sort of okay, and we only looked forward to Mando stuff. But it's amazing. I'm having a great time.
So do we think that we're at a point now where we're just happy we're getting nostalgia Star Wars to things that we know, or are you're able to see past that? You're like, no, it's actually a pretty good show.
I think it's kind of a combination. I've been seeing a lot of videos, and I noticed it as well. I don't remember if I mentioned it on stream yesterday or not, but when I don't know if this is we're in spoiler territory. I don't know.
Not yet. We'll hold out for a little bit later.
Okay, so there's a point in which Kobe reaches a ship, and he's swimming there, and then he gets out and he's basically dry.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that's more of like an homage in the episode overall, very much to A New Hope. And there's like a continuity error there with like the trash compactor where they're all wet, and then the next scene, then they turn a corner, they're all dry.
Hair's dry,
So a lot of people have been saying that, and I think I definitely noticed that, like how dry he was all of a sudden, but I feel like it's drawing a little bit on that nostalgia. I don't know if they actually were going for that. Most likely they were, because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and all them are mega nerds for Star Wars. They don't miss any detail. And if they do miss one, Sam Witwer will fact check them faster than anybody on the planet.
That's true. That is true.
But I think that they're drawing a little bit on both, but being able to do it in a nice sort of harmonizing way. To at least evolve something that we've kind of only had speculation on for the past who knows how long. Yeah.
No, it's true. I think that any of the cheesy parts of it, I kind of think that is Star Wars. Like Star Wars is cheesy. It's for kids. I don't think it's like egregiously for kids. Like it's not like somebody got chopped in half 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. So they definitely know the audience.
People are saying that was a reference to Darth Maul, which I thought was hilarious.
That's funny. But nonetheless, I think people now are just they're reaching really hard just to complain for the sake of complaining, because it is a far better show from the Book of Boba Fett. And I would say it's a better show to me than Mandalorian, only because characters that we already know, characters that we've been years invested in. So I'm more curious about what they're doing versus what Mando's doing. No offense to him.
I can see your point, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can draw upon to reference, or I feel like, we're a little bit more involved with it. Not that necessarily we weren't with Mando, but it's basically introducing us to a brand new character, and they expected us to sort of follow that adventure.
Right.
So a lot of people would be nitpicking about various things, like that's not what a Mandalorian would do, or whatever the case may be. But we can kind of like live with this because it's a fan favorite character, a legacy character, one that people, even from the prequels, was like the one of the few bright spots at the time.
Right.
Now coming back full circle, it just sort of worked out, and I think that it's definitely had a better positive impact immediately than Mandalorian. Like Mandalorian, it was a slow build. Because like what I was just saying, you kind of had to learn more about them. And do I really like this show? Is it really like Star Wars-y like enough? Like, yeah, it takes place in the world, but is it really Star Wars? But this one, immediately.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even the, I guess I don't want to say too much and then potentially go into spoilers. So we'll hold out for now. Also, shout out Paxmas, just entered the room.
Hey, Pax is here.
Hobbies with Jose coming in with, kind of surprised the great James Earl Jones can still bring it as the voice of Vader. He really brings a character to life. Yeah. And that's the thing.
It's like 91. It's insane.
Yeah. It's everything that we love about the original, in spite of all the cheese and all that kind of stuff.
I'm really going to need more Hayden Christensen, though. I feel like that that's ship. We got to jump on it because we're
Yeah.
now at episode 4. And if you were gonna say, okay, we're only doing 6 episodes, which I no longer believe.
Yeah.
I believe they're at 100% going into season 2.
Yeah.
They're simply not enough. Like, even though fans have embraced him, at this point, even with like that very little glimpse we got at some point,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say when,
Right.
people went bananas. So they've re-accepted him, even despite his sort of like bad time in the prequels, and now they're like itching for him. So if you expect us in the last 2 episodes to get the satisfaction we've been building up for the past 20 something years now, I don't think it's going to work, and they're going to demand more anyway, and if they're just going to extend it, or he'll get his own series, or whatever the case may be. People will want more of it, unless they listen to the people that are nitpicking, which that's not the people you want to listen to. There's way more positive, I think, about this show, and people even telling people, shut up, stop nitpicking. You're not supposed to like Reva or Reva. You're not like, this is a young version of Leia. Like, she does a perfect job of it. She's just a kid. There's still like those little Star Wars thing, like when the guys were like chasing Leia, and like do that goofy run, or like that continuity thing with the wet and dry, like we were talking about a minute ago. But like you said, those are Star Wars things, and I think maybe that's where the sequel trilogy got some of that wrong. Their version of This Is Star Wars is showing like a little bit more of the practicality with some of the aliens, which was great, but like they only tried to show that in terms of like the rebels. Like they didn't go as far as like giving that full nostalgia ish feel of it, I guess. That felt like the Star Wars that was still a little bit goofy that we all know and love.
Right.
That's just my...
No, I agree. I completely agree. It's it needs that mix to be Star Wars. It can't just be pure serious all the time. The closest to, pure serious for most of it is Rogue One, which I really enjoy. I want more of it, but I think you also need the other stuff too that kids can watch, no problem.
For sure.
So I did want to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Something about Rogue One. I had a thought about it earlier. I don't remember.
So who was it? I was talking to somebody, and they were like, I'm going to give a hot take that Rogue One is their favorite Star Wars movie. And I was saying, I was like, I don't agree, but I don't debate it, because Rogue One is my top 3. And Revenge of the Sith is only in the top 3 because of the Clone Wars cartoons. Like, the movie on its own, I don't think is top 3. But when I compiled a story and I'm like, oh, this is what we got, I'm top 3 on that one.
I mean, there was so much that happened between 2 and 3. That, I mean, obviously Clone Wars fills in that gigantic gap. But it makes it all come full circle and make a lot more sense. So I think that's what really adds some more to that.
For sure.
But Rogue One is absolutely phenomenal. I rewatched, I think it was before or during Book of Boba Fett that I was rewatching the entire movies. And I watched everything, 1, 2, 3, the original trilogy, sequel trilogy, and Rogue One and Solo. And I don't feel like Solo was that bad. Like, I feel like it gets a lot of hate. I feel like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't like the Star Warsy thing that we were just kind of talking about. But I feel like it had a lot of those pieces to it. And it wasn't as bad as I think people gave it flack for.
I agree. Hot take. I'll agree with you on that. It's...
But we do need Lando to come back. I would love to see
Donald Glover
come back.
Get another shot.
I love everything that guy does. So.
Yeah, same. So before we continue with other nerdy conversations, I figure we might as well stay with Star Wars for a second. We're going to play a game of either. This is one of the first questions that popped up, and I was like, oh, why not? And for those of you who do not know, either is a game where you choose red or you choose blue, choose which one best suits you. And in round number 1, oh, and also put in the chat why you made your choice, of course. But in round number 1, I'm pretty sure we actually had this question a long time ago, but we were on topic anyway. So, you rather have Robin or you rather have Jar Jar Binks as your sidekick? Is it even a debate?
it's not a debate, but now that you bring it up, I know this is totally unrelated, but it's still kind of Star Wars related. Have you seen the new Chip and Dale's Rescue Ranger movie?
I was going to actually ask you about that.
Okay. Have you seen it, first of all?
I've not seen it.
Have not seen it. Okay. This isn't like a major plot spoiler, but you've probably seen it online. Do you mind if I go ahead?
Let me.
I will ask permission before I actually say anything.
I'm gonna get the spoiler.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even.
But to answer your question, it's blue all day.
It's blue all day.
Especially if it's Dick Grayson. Always my favorite of the Robins.
That is your favorite, yeah.
Yeah. I was wearing a Nightwing shirt, I think, yesterday on stream. But yeah, 100% the best. Of course, it's Jar Jar said. I mean, can you listen to Jar Jar talking all the time? I mean, at least with Robin, he'll kind of brood with you, I guess, and like let you have your Chip and Dale spoilers. They might want to change it to Rescue Rangers because maybe Chip and Dale may.
Like
people will think a little bit more precarious.
Let's say. All right, so yeah, so we'll do.
Spoiler alert: they take their shirts off.
Yeah, and it's Chris Farley.
It's a family-friendly show.
All right, so Rescue Rangers spoilers.
Okay, so
everybody, if you don't want the spoiler, come back when the sign's gone.
Okay. So more or less, the spoiler is that they go to like conventions, or at least like I think it's Dale does. He goes to like conventions for like celebrities because this is kind of like a Roger Rabbit mix of real world with like cartoon characters and stuff like that. But at the convention is Ugly Sonic, and they were able to use that, like the Sonic from it's still changed, but from the original Sonic trailer, before everybody got super heated and they were forced to change it, didn't face backlash. So they call him Ugly Sonic. He's still uglified version of the Ugly Sonic, but it's basically parody, so they were able to use him. But the plan was, if they weren't able to get Ugly Sonic, or before they decided to use it, they were going to have Jar Jar, which I think would have been 10 times better for him to be in it, because I think that would have made things so much more interesting to see him return in such like a goofy fashion, because he's a goofy character. Like, I know people want to see him come back as like some Sith Lord or something like that,
which would still be great.
But it would still be great. But I think it would have made so much more sense to keep Jar Jar in that movie. But missed opportunity. It's still fun, but I really wish Jar Jar would have been in it. As much as I love Sonic.
Yeah, see you later, Pax. Thanks for stopping by.
See ya. Thanks for joining.
I do kind of wish that was Jar Jar, but I'm gonna ask you about the movie after, but spoilers are done for now. So it seems like you guys were kind of split on that one. I feel like there wasn't a landslide, but
I don't know how you can be too split on Jar Jar versus Robin. Like, I mean, if you were again going with a different Robin, maybe other than Dick Grayson, but I mean, even if you went with Tim Drake or somebody who was like ready to go off the handles, I think I would still take that over Jar Jar.
Yeah, as I scroll back up, it does seem like Robin won. So let's see. Yeah, landslide. But I think Jar Jar
about the 387,000 people though. 387,000. Like if it was like, I don't know, maybe 100 people and like 25%, like only 25 out of the 100. Okay, I'll be like, okay, but like 300.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is that 87?
Yeah, 387,887. Those are like lottery numbers right there. So I was going to ask you about that. I pulled up the latest videos over from you at NerdGenic. As you all can see, the dude is popping out videos like it seems like one a day.
It feels like one a day.
But before we get to the more recent stuff, oh, there it is. My overlays are blocking it. You do have a Rescue Rangers video talking about the new era of nostalgia. And I thought it was good because we were talking about that before. So I guess is Rescue Rangers and everybody should watch the review, but is that a spoiler review, 1, and 2, should everybody watch the movie?
I'm pretty sure it was not a spoiler review.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. And if there was anything spoiler, it doesn't like affect
The viewing.
story.
Okay.
Yeah. But should people watch it? Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I think in the video I even say it's kind of like a combination between, and I said it before, of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit with maybe like Looney Tunes back in action, which I think is severely underrated, but that's just my own opinion. But it's kind of like a Hollywood stuff mixed with like real world. Like they're characters of themselves, a lot of it.
Yep.
The one thing that I still like, I like it, but I don't like it as a particular story point with Dale. Like it makes sense in terms of like how Hollywood like evolves and like how people change and things like that. But I still don't know if I fully agree with it. I don't know if I should spoil that at all. I mean, it's in the picture, but
well, it's piqued my interest, so I'll at least try to give it a watch. The other thing is, I tried to watch Sonic the other day and I couldn't get through it. So I'm wondering.
1 or 2?
1. I don't know.
The start of it's a little bit rough. I mean, you really don't need to watch Sonic 1. Sonic 2 is way more fun and like Sonic-y stuff.
Okay.
I feel like, so there's really not a big need for it, unless you just want to see why some characters are in the place that they get. But if you don't really care that much, because they don't spend a lot of time on that, they get back to sort of the story and like Sonic versus Robotnik and Knuckles and all that stuff. The second one is way more adventure-y and like fun stuff.
Better movie, Sonic
I would say
2 or Chip 'n Dale's?
Ooh, it's hard to say. Maybe it's just the 90s
recency
kid in me, but I loved all of the references and like little things and like how certain characters sort of like changed, or like people are going to cons. Like they'll have like She-Ra next to Dale, next to like I feel like there was somebody else I'm missing, but like there are all these characters doing like con stuff, which I thought was hilarious. So just because of all the nostalgia stuff, I kind of want to lean towards Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, but I feel like there's a lot better action-y stuff in Sonic that follows like more lore and like entertainment stuff. So it's kind of a toss-up.
All right, fair.
Depends on what you're in the mood for.
It might have to be Rescue Rangers for me. I think that's what I'm going to
Good
go
choice. I don't think you'll go wrong with either one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like Sonic 2. I like Rescue Rangers. I think you would have a good time with either one.
Nice. So the other thing I wanted to talk with you is also on the screen as a recent video or two. So you have your biggest takeaways from the Black Adam trailer. You also had the Atom Smasher history of. So all of you make sure to watch that video. I watched it this weekend. I didn't know anything about Atom Smasher outside of he was a background character in Justice League Unlimited at some point. But
he's mostly a background character.
Yeah.
In most things. So it's not not you.
Yeah.
But there's also a history of Black Adam and Dr. Fate, all of which are in the movie trailer, whatever. So if you ever want to go back, those are all older. If you want to go back and watch those at any point.
I thought you did one. I was pretty sure. But I was like, I can't remember.
Yep. Did it forever ago.
So what are your initial... I guess not to spoil your takeaways, but are you excited for Black Adam now that you've seen the trailer, or did Sal and I overreact in our lackluster reaction because we were just like so let down from that?
I don't feel like you guys overreacted to it. I felt like it was pretty justified, and I agreed with pretty much everything you said. I am more excited for the movie than when the trailer came out. Does that make sense? I'm more excited for the movie now that the trailer has come out.
Okay. Wait,
I don't
so
know
you're
what I said the first time.
you said that essentially, but
Okay.
wait, you're more excited now. Like, is your excitement higher off this one or off the sneak peek that came out, like 6 months ago?
Definitely more off of this trailer,
Mhm.
but there's along with it a lot of concerns, a lot of which I think you and Sal very much pointed out.
Right.
I point out several other concerns beyond that in my own video. If you guys do want to check that out, I don't mind telling you now. But I feel like the weakest point of this movie is definitely The Rock. From what I can see, like, I have no interest in The Rock being in this. It can be somebody else. I don't see Black Adam. I think you guys even said that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like him. You have all the story stuff. It looks like a fun, interesting movie. But it's just, I don't know. There's just something about, like, do I really want to see another Rock movie where he's just going to sort of be The Rock?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this one would be different, where it was kind of, well, even then, even like Scorpion King, when he first started, he still kind of did some Rock stuff in those early movies. But in like The Mummy Returns, when he was like the Scorpion King for that, he was a little bit more like dramatic-y stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I hope they'll kind of pull back the reins a little bit and be like, hey man, you can't do the people's eyebrow and like the wink and the nod through this whole movie. Like, it's just not, that's not the character, that's not how it's gonna work. I can tell The Rock is committed to it, like the movie and like the DC franchise, and wanting to like change it. He's been pushing this movie for forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's been like
probably like 10
2 or
years.
3 years.
Well, because he
Or
mentioned
more.
it like a long time ago.
Yeah,
When
that's
I
true.
think, if I remember, at one point people were like, "Oh, like, would you play like Superman or something?" And he was like, "Oh, I'd rather play Black Adam."
Yeah, he's been talking about it for a long time. He's very much, in my mind, kind of like Ryan Reynolds, where he like had that
Yes.
one focused character that he's like,
Yes.
this is the one that I have to do.
To do, yeah,
So he's very passionate about it. 100% on board with that. Does he fit the character? I mean, physically to a degree, but I even say it in my video, like when he's flying next to the planes and like they're telling him to land or whatever, and before he like busts it, he can barely like turn his neck as he's flying to like look at them and sort of like give them that like F you look, I'm not going down, you're going down type of thing. I don't know, it's just kind of hard. And I even compared it to Henry Cavill in your favorite movie, Man of Steel, where like he's just a little bit too big for the character. It just doesn't look right. It's this very unhealthy middle, I guess, where they have to figure out, we don't need somebody as big as The Rock and Henry Cavill, but we can't have them big enough but also small enough to have to make it like a padded suit like Zachary Levi in Shazam. So it's like a very particular area that's hard to hit, that I don't know if DC just can't figure it out or what the case may be, but I think The Rock is probably the weakest point of what I've seen so far.
Well, I do want to point.
Sucks because he's so enthusiastic about it.
Yes. I do want to say that Sleeping Collectibles, the check's in the mail. Second thing is, I don't remember if it was in the group chat or not. I know we shared the link amongst each other, but I don't remember who I was talking to. I ended up watching the Kevin Conroy episode of Inside of You, the Michael Rosenbaum podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
I catch a couple of clips of that show. I don't actually like follow or listen to it, but anytime there's like somebody on there that is mildly interesting,
right,
I usually try and tune into whatever it is. I haven't watched that episode, but
actually,
I do know the podcast.
I'll pull it up here so people can see who I'm talking about. So it's Luther. Oop, don't want that copyright strike.
Wait, didn't he play his dad on Smallville? No.
No.
Didn't. No. It was a guy that kind of looked like Kevin Conroy, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Luther from Smallville. It's his podcast, and he did an episode with Kevin Conroy. I mean, here he's got pretty much everybody from every nerd show that we watch. Like as I'm just looking at it real quick, I'm like, holy shit! Like this is like
he's had a lot of guests that I'm interested in. Like And they always give like very interesting details about their shows that they were on.
Yeah.
Like I know Jensen Ackles was talking about like Supernatural. He's talked to Tom Welling, who played Superman or Clark Kent on Smallville. He's talked to a ton of people.
Yeah.
And he actually has a pretty good, interesting podcast in the way like he has it back and forth and kind of discovering like those behind the scenes of the industry type of things with people. So it's a really good podcast.
Yeah. But he had the Kevin Conroy, and in that he's telling Kevin like, you know, tell me how you got the role, and you know he's going through that story. But the one thing that Kevin says, by the way, for everybody, Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman from Batman the Animated Series, Adventures of Batman, Superman, Justice League Unlimited, Arkham, the Arkham Knight games, same one. So he's like, he goes through the story. I don't want to spoil it. I think you also listened to the episode. But one thing he says is, if 1993 was now, and DC's putting out that show, and they're trying to be creative in the visuals and taking all these risks, he's like, I don't get the role. He's like, because right now, every studio for a major role is like, we need an existing big star. There is no more, we're going to take a shot on this guy who's never acted before in his life. You know, that's a slight spoiler to his thing, but there's more to it.
That's a good point. And I feel like that's partially why I liked, other than sort of like a follow-up to the Christopher Reeves one, kind of liked Superman Returns. Because you didn't know Brendan Routh from anything. Right. And he was just a dude. He kind of fit the role. And I think he did a good job. I feel like it fairly well stands up to what Christopher Reeves did.
Yeah.
And kind of continuing that story. But I liked having this nobody that nobody knew. I mean, it kind of happened with Henry Cavill too. I don't know why it's with always with Superman. He was around, but nobody really knew him until
Man of
Steel. Because he was in The Immortals, but he was like super skinny. So like nobody ever recognized him from that. But yeah, I would love to see more unknowns in a lot of things. But unfortunately, we're in the time where if you're not the big name celebrity Instagram star, or even apparently now a TikTok star or whoever that just walks on to, you get to be the big name of XYZ, then there's no point.
Yep. Well, they're all afraid. They're like, I have to turn profit on this movie. And unfortunately, it's almost like they're sacrificing a good movie and taking their time with a movie to just like, we're just going to rush it out, get a big name that should carry it to at least make some money. Now, and I immediately think of Morbius. I haven't even seen Morbius, but I've watched so many reviews on it that I know how it goes. Like I've watched people explain the plot line, and I'm like, there's literally no reason for me to watch this movie. I still haven't watched Venom or Venom 2. You know, it just doesn't do it for me.
Watch any of them, to be honest with you. Like the whole Sonyverse is such trash. Like how Marvel was able to pull out enough of Spider-Man to get them into the MCU is a godsend, because I feel like if they were going to try and do anything with this current universe, it's so bad. I don't understand it.
Yeah. We definitely got to talk Doctor Strange too on a separate video.
It's Morbid time.
It is Morbid time. That's how, I guess I'll give a backstory. For all of you who may not watch the podcast or listen to the podcast, I'm an avid waver of the flag that movie theaters are dying. I'm like, this is the new VHS. This is the new Blockbuster. Movie theaters are on their way out. And I went yesterday to watch Top Gun, and it's the first time that I said, I'm so happy I saw this in theaters. But at the same time, I acknowledged that, first of all, the theater was empty except for people see Top Gun. The other theaters weren't really showing anything at that time. And the fact that Morbius was able to get resurrected, I guess no pun on that, but the fact that they were able to resurrect that movie and say, because of memes, we're going to give it one more shot. and put it back in theaters for a weekend shows how little is actually happening in the movie theaters that took up spots.
But I guess in that sense, the internet can potentially keep movie theaters alive.
Can it though?
May not
Like,
always
I mean,
be because with the best intentions, but
Yeah.
I think it might be a possibility.
because I feel like paying, like, you know, you right now you paid a surcharge. Like, and if someone you didn't know what they're doing now, if it's a blockbuster movie, like right now, Jurassic World, right? Is that it? Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Comes out today. Lenny is actually watching it now. The meme I posted earlier ruined it for him, but he's watching it now. And I'm like, if it's not a blockbuster, and if you don't have, you're a parent, right? Like maybe you guys are like, all right, it's date night, kids able to be watched. Let's get to the movie. I feel like if it's not a blockbuster or you're not a parent escaping your kids, you're not going to the theater on your own. Like I feel like people nowadays are just like doing other things or just don't care. Or they're like, I'll wait.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of been that way for a while.
Right.
Even before I became a parent. Like, I was a little bit more selective with a lot of movies that I was going to see. I didn't want to see everything. Of course, I would try to see everything as much as I could. But at the same time, I feel like the internet, kind of like harkening back to what I just said, the internet is helping theaters in a lot of ways, because I don't think without a lot of what sort of like TikTok or Instagram has been able to like drum up extra enthusiasm and people going to see Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, on that same coin, in the bad way, brought Morbius back from the dead, like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the way that Top Gun was able to now be, I think, Tom Cruise's like highest grossing movie ever, which, considering the number of movies that guy has done,
it's wild.
And like the wild things he's done to get movies made or things happen, or just the stuff he does, if that doesn't draw them, and Top Gun, like Top Gun 2 being the movie that draws them in despite it having like planes and like wild stuff happening, like how that one is, it's like his highest grossing movie is wild.
But there's nothing else. That's the thing. People are like, what am I going to go see? Nostalgia. I'm going to go watch, because this is one of the few times I'm going to go and sit down in a crowded space, probably not wear a mask. Like, if I'm going to go, I'm going for that almost sure shot. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Top Gun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's really anything coming out anytime soon that I'm
Outside of Jurassic World today. Oh, and then what are the ones? I was watching the IMAX head on Yahoo Finance. He was talking about like Jurassic World, Avatar, Buzz Lightyear, Black Panther 2, I think, is this year.
Even did it get pushed to 2023? I don't remember.
No, I think it got pushed to the end of this year. It was supposed to be earlier this year.
Oh. See, like Lightyear, I would want to see, but because it's not necessarily in the Toy Story universe, I guess, it's like, how much do I really care?
Right.
So, like, I do want to see it, but am I itching to see it? No. Maybe Thor: Love and Thunder, which again is going to be
that's what we're getting. Yeah.
a franchise movie.
Yep.
One that I'd be willing to venture out for is Nope. Jordan Peele. That's going to be next month, just because Jordan Peele can't miss.
I could debate Us on that one.
I was going to say, I think, if I remember right, you didn't like Us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking for the next couple months. Ooh,
yeah.
August is...
But it's always, it's, like Know Your Craft saying he's in a theater for everything. It's a matter of the casual. Like, is enough happening that the casual person's going, right? Like, when you think Star Wars, it's like they can release Star Wars, and us in this chat, in this live stream, in the rewatch, you're all here because we all are in this. We're in this nerd space. But is it gonna get my parents? Is it gonna get your boss? Is it gonna get your cousin who only remembers Star Wars as the prequels? Like that's who they need. They need the casual person. And is anything coming out that's going to get the casual? I think not having Spider-Man swinging around in Doctor Strange trailers. He's not in the movie. I don't. Maybe that's a spoiler, but not having him swinging around anywhere. Like maybe that movie could have made even more money because a casual person would be like, "Oh, I went to go see Spider-Man. That was like my first post mask wearing time movie. I'll go see this one too." Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot. I mean, just looking at what I looked at on IMDb that's coming up, there's really maybe a handful for the rest of the year that would be even a potential to go back to theaters or go to a theater to see. Which kind of sucks. But at the same time, we're kind of in the streaming renaissance.
Yeah.
So looking, even if they're not getting the content from theaters and that's kind of like a dying industry, like at least for us, we're entertained because we have like the streaming services with like Stranger Things or Obi-Wan Kenobi, Miss Marvel that I'm gonna watch tonight. So many different things. I mean, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
So we have stuff to entertain us.
Yeah.
To some degree. Do I wish it was more in theaters? For some of it, for sure. I feel like there'd be a lot more of a draw to it. But yeah, it makes me sad because going to the movie theater is one of my favorite things to do anytime.
Yeah. I think you just got to once you get that big YouTube paycheck, build yourself a theater in your house and you're good.
I know. Got one of those like projector things.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Set that up every so often. It's kind of like watching a movie. So
yeah, exactly.
Maybe the sound isn't the best. Like that I still got to work out.
Yeah.
Got to get those premium recliner seats.
Yep.
But other than that, getting pretty close.
By the way, I will hot take it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Top Gun movie of the year.
I've heard it's like that good,
yeah.
But is it that good? Like, is it the story? Is it just visuals? Like
all of it.
What makes it so good? All of it?
Because the movie is, we'll say I'm 10 minutes ish into the movie. And I wanted to take out my phone to text my friend Joel, but I stopped myself. It wasn't a full theater, but I think it was full enough where people would notice I had the light on, texting. And I was going to text him and be like, dude, this movie's for you. This movie's for you. Because it hits all the right notes to be a sequel, to hit the nostalgia button, to start something new, to potentially make a new storyline or whatever. I don't think he's gonna do that, but like, could he make more movies off of this one? Potentially. I think he shouldn't. But he's totally just Tom Cruise in the movie. Like, it's not. It's one of those instances where like he's just being himself. It's not like he's acting a role, but But I watched that Mission Impossible trailer too, and I was just like, oh, that movie looks good.
I haven't watched the new one. I need to. I know there's. It's not you, I don't think. I think it's. Is it Joel? I don't remember who it was that hasn't seen or doesn't like Mission Impossible.
No, there's somebody in this space we've talked to who does not.
Yeah.
It might be Lenny, actually.
Is it Lenny? I thought Lenny was a big fan of Mission Impossible for some reason.
Maybe he is. I don't know. I feel like it's somebody who we don't expect.
Yeah. Maybe it's Matt. Is it Matt?
Could be. I don't know. But yeah, it's somebody who shouldn't
start saying names until we figure it out.
Yeah. So yeah, hot take, great movie. Let's roll into one last either. We'll go back a couple steps into the realm of superheroes, and for the last round of either, we have leap a tall building in a single bound like Superman, or be able to run as fast as the Flash, or as fast as Warner Brothers PR team is running away from the news. Whoa! That was my best attempt at a jab.
I think you landed it.
That dude can't. That dude will not be canceled. I swear to God, it just won't happen.
Like, what's it gonna take?
What is it gonna take at this point?
Like right at the point where they're like, yeah, we're gonna stick with Miller because we'd have to redo basically the whole movie. He's in every shot, and then like another one.
Another one.
this guy's taking shot after shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, leap tall buildings in a single bound, or be able to run as fast. Okay, this is where I start getting into my semantics and arguments about these questions. Because if you can run as fast as the Flash, does that also open up the possibility of running through time, or possibly, like, I guess, does he run to different dimensions? I don't know. But like being able to access the Speed Force and like all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, are we talking about that, or just being able to run fast or jump high? Like, how complicated do you want to get here?
I feel like the Flash has run into other dimensions because at a certain point they got to do something outside of just going backward and forward in time. I feel like out of boredom they're just like, all right, let's just he's gonna go to this universe now.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I like the durability of being able to jump that high and land.
Yeah. I feel like with the leaping, though, you're just going to be entertainment for others and people telling you to do superhero landing. My gut immediately was to go with the Flash anyway. So personally, I'll probably go with Red. Like, if you could fly like Superman, I feel like that would be a better argument. But just leaping, I think I got to go with the Flash.
Like the Hulk. Just jumping
yeah,
far.
From the first Hulk movie.
Yeah. Didn't mind that movie. No, sorry. I didn't mind Incredible Hulk. I didn't like the Eric Bana, but the one with Ed Norton, didn't mind it.
Yeah, the Ed Norton one's pretty good. I'm glad that one's kind of coming full circle in the MCU for at least like Abomination and a couple of other pieces. I still kind of wish Edward Norton would have stuck around. Not that I don't mind Mark Ruffalo, but I feel like it would also been really weird to have Edward Norton do Professor Hulk and Smart Hulk or whatever he's called now. That they're leaning heavily into for whatever reason.
I forgot people hated the She-Hulk trailer. I forgot all about that.
They hated it so much they did an updated CG trailer.
They did?
I think on Disney Plus or just released in general. I don't remember. That had better graphics, supposedly. I didn't watch it just for comparison, but I've heard it is better, supposedly. Don't know how true that is, but the original Hulk, the first one, I liked them leaning. I mean, it's Ang Lee, who kind of does some weird stuff anyway, but I liked him leaning into the comic book aspect of it.
It was cool and different.
Yeah, where like scene transitions are like comic book panels or whatever.
Right.
That was really cool. That was definitely interesting. I liked it to a degree. I feel like the weakest thing was the whole thing with like Nick Nolte. Was it Nick Nolte? I think it was Nick Nolte. As his dad, and then like the dogs. Like all like the ending stuff was kind of rocky, but for the most part, I didn't mind most of it. That's a hot take.
That is a hot take. Heavy show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. That one I can't get behind because I think the only good thing about that movie was the fact that the video game came out, and the video game
was fun.
You could swing the tanks around and throw them. Like that was cool.
I remember the video. I played the video game on like a combo. It was like on PS2, but I had it hooked up in my room to like one of those combo small TVs with like the VHS tape thing
yeah.
to it. So I remember like sitting in like the chair, like up
on that screen.
Yep.
Yep. But no, it's funny how many things like you see pre-internet, and as an adult you're like, oh, like we all thought that separately from the internet. Like I remember the fight scene at the cabin.
Yeah.
With the dogs. Before it even happened, I was like, oh, are they doing this at night so they could hide the graphics? And sure enough, they just freaking... I was like, I can't even see what's happening. And then the dad in the water with the eels, I'm like, I can't see what's happening.
It like turns into a cloud or something. It's like, it gets really, really like meta and comic booky and like over the top. That's just like, okay, calm down. It's like 2001, 2003, something like that. We're not ready for that yet. It's like that meme of like the Marty McFly from Back to the Future where he's like, you're not ready for this, but your kids are going to love it.
Yes. But you know what's wild? I think, hot take, I think that is the sequel trilogy. I think in 20 years, people are going to say, man, the sequel trilogy is so good, in the same manner that we all sit here and give praise to the prequel trilogy. Because when the prequel trilogy came out, I mean, what was that movie? Not super fans. There's that movie where the guys go on a quest to go see to get on George Lucas's ranch to see Star Wars, Phantom Menace, and the final fanboys, I think. And the final joke of that movie is them all sitting in the theater, dressed up in cosplays, and the one guy goes, "Man, wouldn't that suck if this movie sucked?" And then like credits roll. Like, it was a joke way back then, and now you're almost like shunned for bashing the prequel trilogy.
I don't know if it's gonna be as far as accepting the sequel trilogy in like 20 years. For me, I say the first two have the highest potential to be accepted or like still be relevant. But I feel like they really, for lack of a better phrase, shit the bed on the last one.
Oh, for
where
sure.
I remember walking out of that theater and just silence. Like, I didn't talk to my wife until we were in the car. So movie ends, walk out, get to the car, sat there for a solid couple minutes, didn't say a word to each other.
Yeah.
And then like started the car and then maybe started driving, and that's when we started talking about it. Like, you're supposed to talk about the movie as soon as you leave the theater. Oh, that was great. I love this, hated that, whatever. Silence. That one, I don't think they
can't get that back.
Possibly the first two.
Yeah.
I feel like the Force Awakens is still mildly accepted. Even though it was a rip off of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Last Jedi is controversial, but I feel like almost everyone hates Rise of Skywalker. I don't think that one can be redeemed, but we were wrong about the prequels, so
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah. Well, let me make a choice here. You went with red, right?
Yes.
Wow. Look at that.
I'm with the majority tonight.
Well, you have a show to do, so
I got 15 minutes.
Well, before we head out, because, rambles sometimes happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Aaron, as I say every week, this is your chance. This is your 5 minutes of fame. Not really,
What?
but this is your chance. Oh, damn
It's an honor.
video. To, as I say, plug yo shit.
Yeah, so I have a ton of videos in live stream on the NerdGenic YouTube channel. Also follow us across social media. I post stuff on there all the time about news things that I may find out during the week or whatever the case may be. It's at NerdGenic across everything. But if you want video stuff, NerdGenic channel that's going right now is the place to be. There's videos at least 2 to 3 per week. Plus now there's live streams.
5 to
per
10 per week.
I try. Okay? I wish I could do more, but sometimes I go through hills and valleys, I think, with content.
Yeah.
Like, there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't know, there's nothing to talk about. And then it's just like, I need this to stop immediately because I can't breathe. So like the Black Adam trailer that came out yesterday. We have our Kenobi watch parties on Wednesdays right now. We have our Miss Marvel one in 13 minutes.
Mhm.
I don't want to overlap with your show, so I'll probably stay at 9:30 until Kenobi ends, and then I'll move to Wednesdays normal time. But there's new videos all the time. History of videos on Saturdays. New videos typically on Mondays and Fridays. Just subscribe, ring the bell notification. The schedule is just videos as much as possible.
It's
So if you have like a lunch break, 9 times out of 10 there's something to watch. If
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, I'm at home, gotta wait for boyfriend, girlfriend to come watch Stranger Things, I got 10 minutes, there's a video.
this video for you.
Something is gonna be there all the time.
Yeah. And before I hit that music, to Doug's point, and I was gonna say that Miss Marvel's good. It's
Marvel's good.
Marvel.
Okay, I've heard good things. I've heard some people kind of nitpick it, but people will nitpick it.
At this point, they're just gonna. You know what's crazy? There's a petition online I saw. I want to fact check it and like type it up, but like that they want that show taken down because it's pushing like Muslim propaganda by showing a Pakistani girl become a superhero. They're like, no,
But
it's
she
not.
was. she's not just like some white girl in the comics. So why are you gonna do that?
Yeah. So everybody, including Jose, if you're gonna watch the show, hang out for another 12 minutes, go to the bathroom, get a refill of a drink.
Yeah.
Aaron will be live streaming over on his channel over at NerdGenic. It's gonna be a good time. But having Aaron on this show is always a good time. So thank you, sir, and thank all of you for being here. HeyArcher Live every Thursday, 8:15 p.m. Podcasts, unboxings at some point, trailer reactions, all that stuff. HeyArcher 1 on YouTube for the toy hunting, and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. I always forget where the outro. Oh, wow! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
There's one on the way. I have
Yeah.
a new order coming, and it's shipped. So.
There you go. Merch over at nerdaffiliated.com. We'll talk to all you nerds in the next one. See ya. I forgot something. I forgot for Scooby Life. I haven't discoed in a while, so we can disco a little bit for Scooby.
Grooving, and that's kind of what prompted the return.
Yeah, I saw Scooby and you were grooving,
Okay.
so we had to do it. We'll see you guys later. I already jacked up the whole thing.